Hi, I'm Mike Song, and I'm a globalist who wants to inspire the world through movement, media, and mentality.
Give me the juice. Back on my bullshit, my back to the wall, turn my back on you, all of you finish. Back to these bullets, it's back to the job, put my Mac out and all of you running.
줄 모르고 덤벼고 없이 I just face it No white color 근데 연중쳐 when I put men's in their places 모든 시선들은 날 따라와 but we ain't even famous
Don't you tell me I want some more Don't you claim that we on the floor Don't you tell me I want some more Don't you tell me I want some more Don't you claim that we on the floor Don't you tell me I want some more
So, Mike, welcome to the Globalists.
Thank you for having me.
It's wonderful to have you here. You're so multi-talented. How do you describe yourself? Dancer, choreographer, guest judge, celebrity judge, educator. How do you describe yourself?
I do a lot of things. I don't think I ever like putting like one title on myself, but for the sake of simplifying, I'm a dancer, choreographer, entrepreneur, director, and producer.
Yeah. That's who you identify yourself. That's sort of you.
As far as work goes, not just as a human being, but for work.
Yeah. Well, right now, everyone in Korea knows you as the judge on one of the most, I would say, popular dance shows coming out of Korea. Streetwomanfighter.
Yeah.
What's that like?
Oh man, it's been amazing. It's number one, it's a huge honor for me, and number two, it's this weird fusion of reconnecting with my motherland through something that I've done my entire life. It was just crazy unexpected to like come back to Korea, also be practicing my Korean again.
Yeah, your Korean's getting better.
Oh,
though.
thank you. I'm working on it.
As the show goes on, I see your Korean getting better too. But you live in LA, right?
Yeah.
So how did you get involved in Streetwomanfighter?
So the production for Street Man Fighter, so that was the second season of the show back in 2022. They reached out to Kinjaz, my crew, to do a possible collaboration for that season. Timing didn't work out, but we made the connection. So then I was doing a workshop tour in Korea, but when they knew that I was gonna be in Korea, they said, hey, this works out perfectly with our timing. Do you want to be a guest judge on Street Man Fighter? And I was like, heck yeah! And so that was like the first time I judged. And then they brought me back to judge the finale of that season. Then in Streetwomanfighter 2, the next year, they actually wanted me to be a judge for the entire season as well, but I don't live in Korea, right? And so I was also a guest judge.
On season two.
On season two.
Of Streetwomanfighter.
Of Streetwomanfighter. And then now, for this new season, this is the first time I'm one of the 고정 심사, as they say.
There you go. And we see you often. But this season, the global Streetwomanfighter, how has that been? It's really popular. And the popularity seems to be even beyond Korea at the moment because of its global nature, I think.
Yeah.
What has been the experience so far? Have you been wowed?
I mean, of course. The level of this season is insane, right? The caliber, especially for this global season, because the caliber of talent on this season, everyone's are like seasoned veterans. This isn't one of those talent shows where it's a rookie looking for their big break, right? These are all seasoned veterans who are just looking to expand on their platform, right? As a result of that, it's been really hard to judge because everybody is so talented.
I'm not as familiar about the dance world as you are, obviously, But as you mentioned, the teams from each country seem to be really at the top level already within their countries. So that means it's really sort of like an Olympics of sorts in getting the highest players and the best players of each country to compete against each other. So that must be a very challenging work to be a judge of such a show.
Oh, absolutely. I think number one, you hit it on the dot. It's like an Olympics caliber of dance. But on the other end, dance is an art form, right? The idea of judging dance is already so subjective to begin with, right? And so I feel like there's always going to be an element of ambiguity. But on the other end, there's this huge social component to the show, right? Mm-hmm. It's like a reality show, the way that you can interact with your fan base, the way that you are playing the game of the TV show, I think is something that is a huge component as well, where it's not just purely based on dance for these contestants. And you can see which crews are utilizing every tool at hand to do well on the show.
I mean, the fans really seem to get involved with these crews.
Yeah.
The season isn't over, so we don't know. We definitely do not know who's going to win.
Yeah.
But so far, who's been sort of the standouts? I mean, obviously, I'm seeing the Korean team, Bumjup, really becoming very popular. The fact that there are so many countries with such high level of female dancers in itself must be interesting.
Yeah, I think for the show, the casting did a great job. Bums Up is interesting because they weren't a crew before the show, right? So they're all crew leaders from season 1 of Street Woman Fighter. And so they're taking like the 주인공s of season 1 and they created like a mega team. And on one end, I think that's very compelling, but on the other end, it's quite challenging to build chemistry in such a short amount of time and compete against other crews who also had maybe over a decade of experience together. And then you have another group like Ojo Gang, who is from Osaka, and they also are comprised of a lot of different superstar dancers. And so they're also relatively newer as a crew as well. And so you have a lot of different dynamics. You have some crews with a lot of strong individuals. You have some crews with a lot of experience.
Yeah. I think it's one of the things that makes this show so exciting because, the chemistry has to really push everybody onto the stage and to get everybody involved. And so it's very exciting. You, of course, are a judge, but you've been a competitor yourself, and you know where they're at, and you've been where they're at. You give them little tidbits about what you did and how you overcame things.
I try and sprinkle things here and there, but again, at this level, I'm not telling them how to dance, right? The things that I'm actually saying is I'm keeping it very transparent. I'm saying, hey, this TV show is a short moment in your career. Maximize this. Like, zoom out from this experience. Of course, focus on killing every performance. However, I think it's really important to zoom out and understand why you're doing this show and to utilize this timing. And so I feel like those are the reasons why I even feel compelled to do this show. It's not to come and judge them. It's actually because I care so much about dancers and dance crews and dance brands developing themselves and fortifying longevity in their careers because dance careers are so unstructured so much. And so I feel like this is an opportunity for them to really catapult themselves, but these are the things that I'm trying to sprinkle in as I talk about the show with them. Yeah?
A little bit of 선배 type of thing, put things in perspective in a way, I guess.
Yeah.
It's hard for dancers and choreographers in this world. I mean, it's very competitive, it's very challenging physically and business-like.
Yeah.
I've heard some of your interviews and describing Street Women Fighter as a unique platform for dancers and choreographers. How so?
In a lot of ways. I think, for one, from a purely entertainment factor, the storytelling is so different. Nearly every other dance TV show before this, It's a very similar format, which is you have a dance performance on stage, and you maybe have like 30 seconds to a minute to like learn about the crew, and then it's the performance and that's it. And so you're not really developing that relationship, that relatability with these crews, right? And so it's kind of like we do our magic trick, we do our dance performance, and then that's it.
Judges, yeah.
Right? Exactly. Whereas with this show, and I think this is what Street Woman Fighter has innovated, quite honestly, is by kind of turning into a reality show and filming everything and also kind of creating situations that could kind of stir up drama as well. It allows the audience to connect with the dancers in a way that dance shows have never done before. And because of that, you're not watching this dance performance and just thinking, oh, I like this dance, is it good or not? Now you're like, oh my gosh, their story was so good, or oh my God, I'm watching an Olympic champion right now, or they're invested in a whole nother type of way. And so I feel like that connection to the dancer is something that is, that hasn't been done enough before because dancers don't speak in their performance oftentimes, right?
It's true.
So you don't have that time to connect. So I feel like this is huge, and that's a huge aspect of why there's so much fandom and a lot of success this season.
It's only recent that you've actually had dancers, individual dancers that become really stars on their own right.
Yeah.
So I guess this is sort of propels them and creates much more of a big platform for them.
For sure. I think if there's like a dance timeline, right? And I'm talking more so like hip hop and mixed genre choreographers. I'm not talking about ballroom or classical styles because there's kind of different formats for that. But as far as like hip hop and mixed genre choreography goes, I think the big advent was when YouTube came out and dancers were able to give themselves like their own platform, and then American dance TV shows. So this is all happening in the early 2000s. And that timing is what created a lot of, it changed the game for dancers because before you have to say, oh, I danced for Janet Jackson or I danced for this artist.
Somebody.
And that is your only resume. And then once YouTube and those dance TV shows in America started coming out, it changed everything. It kind of like democratized the platform for dancers. And then now I feel like we're kind of 20 years, 15 years since then. And now I feel like the next wave, we're kind of waiting for what that wave was. And I feel like Street Woman Fighter has brought a new innovation, which is this reality element.
Does it make you feel like, oh, finally, I feel like, the future of dance is significantly better?
Yeah, I feel so proud. I feel so proud that Korea is doing it, and I feel like this is just the beginning of another wave, in my opinion, for dance, because I think this next chapter for dance is how do we make dance much more relatable and do a better job of storytelling beyond dance? How do we get to know the dancer and the artist more? Because there usually isn't that opportunity. You watch a theater show or you watch a dance video, and you don't really get to understand what kind of person they are. Even like singers, at their concerts, they get to speak every song transition. They interact with the audience, and so you start to relate to them on a human level. And I think that's so important for so many reasons, right? Just like building your identity, your brand. But dancers don't have that. Thus far, haven't done that.
And I feel like, singers and actors, of course, they follow a script, they follow a song, and it's their voice. Yeah. But for a dancer, it's your entire body. And so there's meaning to knowing more about the dancer.
Yeah, I mean, of course, I feel like I would liken us to athletes, right? So like we're always in performance mode, but without getting to know them on a human level, we're simply just speaking or learning about the personal story. I think that is, in my opinion, the next level for dance.
And this impact outside of Korea as well? You think the impact will?
Oh, for sure. It already has.
It already has?
Yeah. The impact of Street Woman Fighter is global. I mean, you can tell by the YouTube views alone. Like they're hitting like 5 million views in a day with a lot of their videos. And so I think there's like echoes around the world where, even in America, they're like, hey, have you heard of this show, Street Woman Fighter? And everyone's kind of hearing about it. Like, I've seen video clips, and then words going around that they're like, it's like a reality show, but a dance show. And so I think this, to me, it feels like what it felt like back in 2008, because I competed on the first season of America's Best Dance Crew with my college crew. This wasn't with Kinjaz, and I remember at that time what it felt like when all the dance shows were booming, right? And that was the same time as So You Think You Can Dance first season, and this was like this new era for dance. And I feel like we're entering like another version of that, but it's still elevated, obviously.
It's very exciting.
Yeah.
So we'll continue this conversation in our next episode, talking about you and your journey with Kinjaz. Tell us some of your big collaborative partners.
Justin Bieber, Super M, right now, Baby Monster. I would say one of our biggest collaborations we've ever done is with Nike. Yeah, called the Air Sesh. League of Legends and Fortnite and 2K. And so we're creating dances for those video games as well. For me, I feel like the key to the puzzle for expanding dance careers and as a whole ecosystem lies more in the storytelling beyond the dance.